Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG Build Guide Edition. Today I'm ready to drop on you Golemancer version 7. Yes, the 7th iteration of my Golemancer. Stronger than ever, and I believe my strongest minion build I have ever made. Currently at 854 corruption, and we have taken down Abberoth. As always, I will show you every single facet of the build. Everything is timestamped in the description below if you need to bounce around. Let's not waste any time and jump right into this. Starting off with some gameplay. So the skills we are using for Golemancer version 7 is Summon Bone Golem, Summon Wraith, Summon Skeletal Mage, Summon Volatile Zombie, and of course our staple Dread Shade. Currently playing at 680 corruption, and we will be able to generate 3 Vanguards, 2 permanent Wraiths, 6 Zombies, 5 Death Knights, and 3 full-size Golems. These are not nerfed in any way. Because of my unique item in-game Aaron's Will, we are able to generate 3 full-size Golems. It unlocks the build for Golemancer. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you some gameplay at this level. I've also spec'd into health regen. On this build right now, I can generate 817 life per second. It's like someone is just spamming my health potions I never use health potions really, because my health regen is so much that it just bounces back almost just as fast. We've also gone a little bit into ward. So Aaron's Will is going to give us some ward back. Our relic we are using, the Weaver for Acolyte, is going to give us some ward. So we also are going to be generating that from our zombies. So as you can see, even pushing almost 700 corruption, Golemancer is as strong as ever. Let me show you some boss fights. Empowered Nemesis at this level. People want to see more fights, so I'm trying to spread them out a little bit. You will see that the minions, of course, do all the work. Good night. Exiled Mage. Exiled Mages can be tough sometimes. Teleport around and shoot you. Normally the Exiled Mage is hard for me to find because the minions are all over the place. Same thing, Exiled Mage. You are dead. God Hunter. And for this fight, I want you to focus on my minion's life. Look at the Golem's health regen top left. As they take damage, it pops right back up. And the reason why I really wanted to point that out during this fight is because the next fight I am going to show you is Golemancer versus Abberoth. And this is going to be a clip from my Twitch stream. The reason why we're able to take down Abberoth now is because we can keep our minions alive. Check this out. Abberoth. Final phase.
Fight for nothing. We can learn this. Hope will not save you.
So now let's break down the skills, starting with our summon golems, the heart of Golemancer. And I'll try and show you the direction in which you want to take these points. First thing you want to do is come straight down and get AOS and Tower of Bones. You want your golems generating a lot of threat. That way it is not killing your other minions or you. All the enemies are focusing on trying to kill your golems. You then want to come down here and get Hunger. What Hunger is going to do is the golems are going to leech life back to themselves and leech life to you. It is a very, very nice node. You're then going to come up here and snag Bone Growth. This is a node that really pushed us to be able to take on Abberoth because you have so much health regen, and that is transferred to your golems, which allows them to stay alive and become a lot tankier. Now, your last 4 points, you actually have an option. I put them right here in AOR. This is melee attack speed and movement speed, so that your golems are just bouncing all over the place. But what you could do is, if you're struggling with your minions staying alive, is you could put them right here in AOP, and this is armor granted by other nearby minions. So you're going to buff the armor of your army, including your golems, to make them tankier. This one's a personal preference, but I want my golems to move and attack faster, which will generate more hunger hits. So that is golems. Moving over to Dreadshade, first thing you want to do is come straight down, get Lone Watcher. You're going to boost the attack speed of your minions. You're going to boost their multiplicative damage. Now, this is something that for the most part we don't take very often, but I did have an extra point, so I threw it here. Anytime you're standing inside of the Dreadshade, you're going to get a boost to cast speed, which is going to allow you to make zombies quicker. Not huge, but it is a nice little quality of life. We're going to be damning enemies. Coming down here, you're going to boost the necrotic damage of all your minions. You are going to buff the buff of Dreadshade based upon missing health, and your minion's life is always bouncing, so that's good. And then we come up here and put one into Martyrdom, which is going to give them more armor. 29 points currently into Summon Skeleton Mage. First thing you want to do is come down here and get Death Knights so that they are melee minions. You're then going to come over and turn them into what I consider one of the best teleport skills in the game. You can go up and down terrain. You will absolutely notice a difference using this version of movement. So you've got an awesome movement skill, and you're going to bring 9 of those minions with you as personal bodyguards. You then want to come down, get an extra Death Knight, and you want to boost your crit damage, movement speed, and critical strike multiplier. The remaining points get put into boosting damage and trying to keep them alive by giving them more life and leech. Moving over to summon Wraiths. Now, these are your strongest minions that you control. They do the most damage. Unfortunately, you can only have 2, but they are your powerhouses. What you want to do is come straight down here and make it where you have only 2 Wraiths, but they are permanent. That way you don't have to resummon them over and over again. It's too hard trying to maintain a Wraith army and a zombie army. So you only want 1 minion that you spam. And you're going to boost their damage. 180% multiplicative. So nice. You're then going to come over, boost their attack speed. You want to come up, boost their base damage, boost their multiplicative damage. And then you're going to go right around the horn. And what this is going to do is boost their leech, their crit strike, and their crit multiplier. Now, the final points, I've actually gone right here. Once you're pushing that 600, 700, 800 corruption, it is really hard to keep minions alive. So I snagged a couple points out of damage and put them right here for an extra 80% multiplicative health boost. Since we're not recasting them, you know, the summoning cost and the summoning cast speed does not matter. So you'd rather have them stay alive. Last but not least, zombies, which I have changed this skill 100 times. I've pulled it out of the build. I've put it back into the build. We've had them vomiting, and I keep changing this over and over again. First thing you want to do is you want to take this upper tree here, make it where you have mana efficiency and cast speed so you could summon them easier. You want them to stun enemies. You want them to have kill threshold, which is great. And one singular node that allowed us to push way higher on this build is right here. The explosion now fears enemies for a short duration. Fear duration 3 seconds. Well, when you're fearing enemies, they're not killing you. They're running away. They're scattering. It is an absolutely massive boost to survivability. The fact that you have 6 zombies exploding and the enemies are running all over the place, which means they are not attacking you. Big boost to the build. We then come down here and we're actually going to be generating ward. So I've added another mechanic into the build where we're going to be generating anywhere from 500 to 2,000 ward. And when you're at 4,000 life, getting 2,000 ward. Again, more survivability. You could take those one-shots. And then we have 3 into Awakened Presence, chance to resummon the zombie. And then you got 3 extra points. Some people like putting them into Ravenous for multiplicative damage to bosses. Some people like stun chance. I literally just give them more damage, and it reduces the health decay rate, which means when they explode, they have more life, which means, you know, we're going to get more ward. So those are the skills. So now let's break down the passives. My Golemancer is currently level 100. We have 21 points in the base tree, 8 into Forbidden Knowledge, 5 into Dark Ritual, 7 into Soul and Vitality, and 1 into Soul Aegis. Now again, you have another option here. Stolen Vitality, you could pull these 7 points out, and you can go into Ward Retention, and Resistances. I don't need the Resistances, and I would rather take the Vitality for more life, and again, try and keep my minions alive at higher corruption. But technically, if you need the Necrotic Resistance or Poison Resistance, you can go this way. But this is how I have it set up. Nothing in Lich, nothing in Warlock, 92 points into Necromancer. And EHG, if you watch this, please give Necromancer threshold nodes. Please. It is one of the oldest trees there is. And it is nerfed because we don't have any threshold nodes. Threshold nodes are the little bonuses we get, where 5 points gives you this. They could be build enabling. They're so powerful. Necromancer gets none. So hopefully that's coming season 2. All right, 5 into Risen Army, 8 into Blood Armor. We are keeping our minions alive through health regen, and you are using health regen. I could generate over 800 life per second, which is much as like someone hitting a potion button over and over again. 5 into Mortal Tether, 1 into Unbound Necromancy. You want as many plus to Skeleton as possible, which allows you to have 3 golems. We have 3 into Cursed Blood, 6 into Aegis Fall, which is going to give you tons of armor shred, and you're going to be hitting very fast. 8 into Unearthed Arms. You do want that increased physical and increased melee physical base to try and boost their damage. We do have 3 into Dark Retribution. I cannot tell you how much Skeleton Vanguards help. I mean, they do decent damage at the training dummy, and then it's an extra 3 minions. They attack fast, which means they're shredding armor. They are good little minions. I like my Vanguards. And then basically you go around the horn. So we've got 7 into Tyrant, 1 into Tyrant's Legion. You need that +1 to Skeleton. And we just go around. Boost damage, boost crit, boost intelligence and crit, give chill chance, resistances and vitality. Empty the graves. This is one of the most important nodes that I didn't use for years. Increase health regen per minions. You have a large minion army. This is how we're able to push our health regen over 800 life per second. Extra Death Knight, and then we have 5 into Veins of Malice, which is going to give you haste and frenzy 50% of the time your minions are alive. And then Moonlight, which is just going to boost the base damage. I have changed and updated this passive tree in the 7 versions. I don't know, 50 times. This feels like the best, and it'll probably get changed again. Those are the passives. Moving over to Last Epoch tools, where we're going to break down the blessings, idols, and gear, starting with blessings. Now, what we have here, I am using base life, all resistance, endurance, physical res, and health regen. Health regen being the most important. Now, out of these blessings, if there was anything you wanted to switch, if you are fine with your resistances and you need crit avoidance, you can switch your Reign of Dragons blessing for crit avoidance. It's very important to be capped on your crit avoidance so you don't get one shot as a Necromancer, so just know that you could do that. When it comes to idols, it literally couldn't be simpler. Double life, and then you want 1 idol to have chance to apply Marked of Death on hit for minion skills, and the percentage doesn't matter. You have so many minions hitting so often that even if it was 3%, the enemies will always have Mark of Death on them. Okay? Couldn't be easier. Now, when you are looking at the gear, I know I said this earlier, I just want to be clear. In order to get to 850 corruption and kill the Pinnacle boss Abberoth, it took me a long time to gear this character. This isn't bugged. This isn't meta. This isn't something that comes easy. We took a lot of time gearing out this character to be able to push minion melee army this far. So just know that we're a beast. We're a beast, but our gear is also very good. We are using the Nihilus Amulet. And right, the affix you want on here is health regen. You can also get minion damage. But the most important thing is 2 to skills. Helmet, health regen, and I took level to Bone Golem. Belt, get your resistances, minion health regen, minion damage, double life. Boots, vitality movement, double life. Gloves, resistance, cast speed, minion health, health regen, health, hybrid health. It's a lot. For our legendaries, we are using a Mandate. This is going to make it where the minions will leech health back to you. It'll also give you 2 to skills, and your minions will be immune to stun. And make sure on your Mandate, you get mana regen. All of your mana regen is going to be coming from your legendary weapon. We are using 2 Hollow Fingers, and these are fairly easy to get even at 3 LP. 2 LP, they're free. 3 LP, they cost you a little bit, but it's not bad. And this is what unlocks your 3rd Golem, because you get +1 to maximum skeletons. We are using, of course, my unique item in game, Aaron's Will. And this is what actually is fully required for Golemancer. You cannot have 3 or 4 golems without Aaron's Will. So this is a requirement. And then lastly, newcomer to the build, we are using a Weaver's Erased for Acolyte. And on here, I currently have a T7 Summon Skeletal Mage and T7 Health Regen, or T6 Health Regen. So very, very nice relic. That is the gear, idols, and blessings. So now let's talk leveling. Aaron, this is great, but how do I go from level 1 to what I see on screen right now? I will show you. Now, for me, it doesn't matter if I'm a Necromancer, Lich, or Warlock. I level my Acolytes the exact same way. Now, the first skill you want to take is Summon Skeleton. And skeletons are very frail and they die very easily. But what you want to do is you want to come to the left first and get Mightier Than the Sword, which removes warriors. So that way, every time you summon a skeleton, it is an archer. And they are very powerful early game. And they stay at range, which means they stay alive. You got a couple options. You can come up and get an extra one. You can come down and boost their damage. Either way, you want Summon Skeleton Archers. Second skill you want is Summon your Bone Golem. And you will only have 1 of these until way later into the game. And basically, there's 3 nodes you want. You want AOS, you want Tower of Bones, and you want Fragments of the Fallen. This is going to give you one of the biggest golem in the game. It'll generate all that threat. It'll be your meat shield so that you and the archers can tear up the enemies. Next you want is your Summon Volatile Zombies. And basically what you want to do is come up and get this node, which is going to give you Kill Threshold. So normally you'd be casting a spell. You'd be casting a melee attack when you are leveling. You will be casting zombies. This will be your spam skill. You want to put an unspec'd transplant on your bar so you have a free movement skill. And then once you unlock Necromancer, what you'll be doing is you'll be switching Skeleton Mage out, or Summon Skeleton for Skeleton Mage. And then you're actually going to spec into your movement skill here. So those 4 skills, Summon Skeleton, Bone Golem, Zombie, Summon Skeletal Mage, and Unspec Transplant, you will fly through the campaign. All right, everyone, that's the build guide. Is there anything I missed? Is there anything I can do to take this to the next level? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Couple of asks at the end. 1, please like, share, and subscribe. Of course, only if you think I've earned it. Best way to support is Patreon. The link is in the description. You get some exclusive content. You get access to movie night and the VIP lounge. Patreon is the best way to support into the future. And check out the Discord. We do a giveaway every couple of weeks. It's where we run all of our community events. We're over 4,200 members strong in the Discord. I'm done. Hopefully you were entertained or at least learned something. Aaron, out.